So is Vindictus worth playing in 2020 or not? Let's find out because I've been playing for a couple of days already, and honestly, it's been pretty amazing. So let's go through the changes they made since the release in 2010. So as you can see here, you just have to dig through this map and find your story quest, but they made like an easy progression button that lets you click it and then you automatically get transported to your next quest line or the next story mode. So let's get into the gameplay now. Because the last time I played was in 2010, and I used to play it religiously for like 2-3 years before I quit. And I can believe it was 10 years ago because I was I guess, barely passing puberty by that point. But alright, so the gameplay in these dungeons are really smooth. It used to be kind of laggy, but now they optimize it somehow where it's really smooth. You can just see the cutscenes and the fights, and it's really smooth. And the way the monsters kind of just bounce back after you hit them, and there's no lag or anything. It's really amazing game to play. So they also made it easier to pick up drops. You used to have to press the E button and then wait for this grabbing animation that takes like 3-4 seconds, and it used to be really annoying. But they did away with that. So it's kind of like just an auto loop where you just walk past it and then it automatically grabs it for you and put it into your inventory. Right now there's a special event where like they're giving out a lot of like gold and equipment and shards and different things like that. So it makes it easier for you to play. There is a fatigue system, but they did increase the fatigue times 2 or times 3, so you don't have to worry about, oh, I'm going to play for like 1 to 2 hours before they kind of shut you off. Yeah, and these details are really nice, especially on these red blobs or this red blood thingamajiggy. Not even sure what that is. But this character right now, it's kind of like a mid-range shooter, and she's pretty fun to play with because she has a lot of different abilities. Once you kind of progress, where she could teleport and do all this other crazy shit. And then they do give you weapons that you could throw, like they have like hooks, bombs, spears, and then there's also like side quests where like you would throw a spear, or you have to kill 5 zombies with a spear, and they give you like a unlocking achievement, or like you have to kill a boss with a spear or knock off a shield or something like that. So it's pretty interesting. So you get a title like that, disruptive, or I just kill a bunch of zombies, and it gives you like a small stat boost. And the weapons are pretty fun to play with. I mean, it's easier just to do your basic attack and smash and kill them, but it's still pretty fun. And this mode right here is easy, but it does scale up progressively harder, where like you actually have to like start dodging and kind of start watching out what you do instead of just like firing away like crazy. And there is no lag through the map, so whenever you go through these red portals where you get to the next map, there's really no lag. And they do have really nice cutscenes when you fight bosses. This boss is pretty easy, but like I said, it does scale up pretty difficult once you progress through the game. I think it's extremely hard, so you can't just hack and slash your way through without understanding how the game mechanic works. You actually have to start dodging some attacks. And like I said, like you just saw earlier, she did a teleport thing, which is pretty nice. So she does have pretty good skills and pretty fun to play with. And after a while, after you attack them for a while, they kind of get stunned, and then you can kind of go all out on them. But this guy has no chance, and I'm about to smash him. And that's pretty much it. After you beat a boss, there's always that cutscene where like it's like the final last attack, and it looks pretty nice. And then it shows you what mission you completed and all the stuff that you gotta pick up. You need to pick up any of these, it kind of auto loots for you. But right here on the side it tells you all the experience. So instead of going back into town and finishing the quest or the storyline, they let you do it right here on the right hand side where you just interact with them, and so you don't have to walk back to town and talk to somebody. You could just go right back to the dungeons and keep fighting, which I thought was a really big improvement and a nice feature, saving you lots of time. And right now they're giving you lots of equipment and or new equipment and gear, so you don't have to craft them. So you catch up to all the new content that's coming out, because I mean it's like 10 years of cotton, right? So you don't really have to worry about changing your avatar much, because you'll be getting new equipment all the time. So as you see that I'm playing on full max settings, like everything is maxed out to the core. And there used to be a lot of lags in between the town for some reason back then versus the dungeon. But as you see now, there's virtually no lag when you walk around the town. There might be like one stutter here and there, but that's about it. And they also implemented those blue dots to show you where to go to finish your quest, since it could get kind of confusing where to go at first, since there's like a lot of different shops. But right now, I would say that there's no lag in town, and it's pretty nice. So I'll show you one of the early major boss, and this is Dan Polar Bear. He's not that hard to beat once you kind of start predicting his moves, but he does get extremely hard on the harder levels and settings. Um, so you kind of have to watch what he kind of does. And even though this is an easy level, if you don't dodge his attacks and get hit too much, he could break your equipment basically, and then your stats will go down. So then, like, if he slashes your jumps to top of your ass and breaks like your armor, then your defense will significantly go down. But overall, the gameplay is still pretty amazing. The graphics are crazy. There's virtually no lag, and it's really fun to play. All the bosses here are different. They all do different things, and it's not really predictable. And then there is like a quest later on where like you have to like take a spear and like aim it and hit him in his eyes like a few times to unlock it. So there's like always side quests like that gets hard. But once again, these cutscenes are really nice to look at. And then they didn't have this pet back then either, so this pet thing is pretty new, but I guess he helps you do damage or something. But he seems kind of useless right now at this point. So this is the last dungeon or gameplay dungeon that I'll show you. This dungeon kind of consists of like 5, 6 different bosses in one dungeon. No, at this point I already leveled up all my different skills and being able to teleport immediately and attacking them, and a whole bunch of other different skills that you'll see. The gameplay these past couple days has actually been pretty refreshing versus what you will find in other games like God of War or something like that, because the mechanics are a lot different and the gameplay is a lot smoother. And you know, next time Asia has no plans to discontinue this game anytime soon, because it's still a cash cow in Asia, which is kind of the same with Maple Story, even though it's crazy dead in North America by now. Then they still have a good player base and lots of guilds. I would recommend you joining one so you kind of communicate with them, get on Discord, and kind of interact with them, and it makes the gameplay experience so much better. As you can see, even with all these bosses and all these different things going on at once, it's still very smooth. And this guy right here, you definitely gotta avoid him, because if he stuns you with poison, then you pretty much get stunned for a while and start losing damage over time. And once again, he's down, and not for too long before you get attack him. But that skill's pretty nice though. But he's definitely not the last one. This one is the last one. This big dude with the armor on it. And I remember like 5 years ago, like you had to throw like 20 spears at him to knock off his helmet, and that would be like one of the requirements to like start cracking gears. But now since they're pretty much giving away like gears and all this other stuff due to the event, so they want you to catch up quicker. You must go through all that again, so it's pretty nice. And he's almost dead. Actually, this isn't the last boss. There's one more after this. But it's crazy how nice these cutscenes are, though. But it's unfortunate that they still have this kind of 2D animation where the text box is on the side. But if you like the story, then I would definitely encourage you to read it, because it's actually has good story, like a good plot and good character development. And now, not only do you have to fight the final boss, but then you gotta fight the 3 sub-bosses that you just beat too. And even though it feels like you're spamming like the same skills over and over, you're really not, because with the dodging and like the smashes and the basic attacks, it looks like you're spamming the same thing over and over, but you're really not. Down there, go down. Here it goes. Alright. Alright, so this is one of my favorite part of the game, which you'll kind of unlock once you get to level 40. And you can awaken into this character, and you can choose between like a light and a dark side. I picked the dark side because it looks a lot better, and it has like improved visual UI, and you do get stronger. It doesn't last that long. It lasts like 2 minutes, but that really doesn't mean anything, because once you get to those higher level dungeons, 2 minutes isn't long enough. But it is a fun thing to kind of activate and kind of destroy these motherfuckers. So it's pretty nice to have. And there is that meter on the top that tells you how long that it lasts before you kind of go back to your normal form. And you do get special skills once you level up, when you go into that awakened state. But the graphics are really clean. I mean, this is like one of the better games I've played that had really enhanced graphics. So that's pretty much for the gameplay, but I'll kind of show you some other things. So here's like the storyline, and it shows you basically what the storyline is, who you gotta beat, how much AP you get. There's different badges that you could equip to get a small boost in power, like I'm equipping right now. There is a skill tree that you could, and there's different ways and variation you could make your character. But you get so this is like the skill tree right here, and you increase your skills by getting AP, and you get AP by finishing these dungeons and killing bosses and doing all these raids. So like you see here, I just increased my combat mastery, and it's pretty nice because some skills that before you buy them, you can kind of see what they do, and gives you like a little video animation of it. So I'm not sure why other games don't do that, because it's pretty nice. And I'm gonna keep playing this game because there's actually gonna be a pretty big update soon, with more characters coming in. So that's about it. But I would recommend playing this game because it's pretty nice. Even for 10-year-old game, it's still pretty fun. It's still pretty smooth and fluid. And just give it a try. Alright, see ya.